time for a little Funky Friday. From their funky hidden headquarters, your hosts, Keith and Gary. Not Jerry.
Yummy, yummy. Welcome to TGIF. It is another wonderful Friday, the end of the week for most people. And we are here to talk about nerd crap. Yeah, nerd crap. That's the official term for it. Nerd crap. We need something like something that's small, homunculus. We need a word just for nerddom. You know, we need its own word.
Yeah.
Come on, somebody come up with something Latin.
Honey, may I have it, please, Itis?
No. Monkey was here in the chat with us for the show and showing off his brand new, what is that, 1/6 scale or 1/12 scale Batmobile, right?
Tim Burton Batmobile.
Yeah,
Yep.
Tim Burton Batmobile. And it looks really good. The problem is, and I agree with him, that it's printed in black plastic and chrome plastic. So therefore, it has a plastic look to it. So what he's going to do is pull it apart and prime it and paint it so it'll have the right look. Like it's actually painted to look right. So, but it's awesome, man. That's one of the coolest Batmobiles I've seen in 40 years. Because I remember when I was a kid, I think it was Mego that made it. Mego that made the 1/12 scale 1966 Batmobile.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that thing. After my dolls broke, my dad wouldn't let me buy any more of the action figures. It became home to my gerbil. My gerbil rode around in a Batmobile.
That's still cool, dude.
Yeah, it was damn cool, gerbil. So happy Friday. We have Loki here. He's joined us. Keith is here. And John has joined us this afternoon. How's your foot feeling, buddy?
It's a little better. I took some pain meds and I fell asleep. So I just barely made it awake in time.
Excellent. And of course, Martin is here. And Bill is in the background producing the show. I'm hearing a lot of clicking. Kieran was supposed to be here, but Mikey's overworking him as usual. So he apologized. He sent an email apologizing, said to say hi to everybody. I'm sorry, but he has to finish 2 articles this afternoon for Geekosity. So he just could not make it. But we are going to talk about some stuff anyway. I might even open up Geekosity and take a peek over there, see what's going on. And let's see, geekositymag.com. Let's see what we've got here. So I'll share the screen. Hopefully it won't screw up my audio. If it does, someone else can share it. But Michael Keaton, Batman official promo art gives us best look at the new suit. This sounds interesting. The Flash screening confirms hilarious surprise cameo. Do you guys want to watch that or read about it?
I already know what it is.
I don't know. So go
You
ahead.
don't know if you want to know?
No, I don't know what is the cameo.
Yeah, I'm wanting to know if you guys want to know what it is so I can open
Yes.
or not. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Let's see. The Russo brothers want to direct for James Gunn's DCU. We don't need to read that, but I think that's good news.
A lot of MCU talent going over to the DCU.
Yep. Well, they don't feel properly treated over there. I think that's part of the problem. So let's see. Ezra Miller could have the DCU's breakthrough smash. If it's as good as we've been hearing reported, good for him. I hope he cleans up his act. He's a mess. Gal Gadot to ignite excitement at SnyderCon with live appearance. Adam Warlock shines in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 teaser. Look, I like this kid as an actor, so I'm not sure how I feel about him as this character.
Yeah, he's miscast so far. From what I can see, just so far, I think he's miscast.
I think the best casting for him I've seen so far was when he was originally supposed to be Pennywise in the readaptation. And
Ben Browder was originally supposed to be Adam Warlock. I don't know if you caught him
Really?
in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Yeah, Ben Browder was in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and it was supposed to be based off of his genome.
What happened?
James Gunn got fired from Disney, then rehired, and all the shenanigans that happened with the James Gunn, and they redid 3 to come after Infinity War and Endgame.
Interesting.
Good to see Alpha Flight back in circulation again.
Yeah, I haven't seen them since the 80s, so it is neat. He was my favorite character. I like that guy.
Puck.
Yeah. Disney confident the Marvels will defeat hate campaign. Does everybody know what this gesture means?
You're unclogging your...
I'm unclogging my toilet. That's just fucking stupid.
Disney's wishing in one hand and crapping in the other again.
Yep. So let's get to this Michael Keaton thing. Of course, written by our dear friend, Kieran Bug. Michael Keaton Batman official promo art from The Flash has given us our best look yet at his new Batsuit. Upon initially being announced, anticipation for the return of Michael Keaton as Batman was immediately at an all-time high. I mean, all of us got excited about that shit. It went above and beyond after the first trailer with The Flash released earlier this year. Without a doubt, Michael Keaton stole the show in the short footage that was shown. He reminded audiences that he is Batman. For many, his portrayal of the Caped Crusader was the definitive live-action depiction. I think that's a bridge too far to say that. But he is beloved. There's no question about it. After all, he starred as the character's first major feature film, excluding Adam West's 1966 TV spin-off movie. Well, it was a tie-in. It was for marketing. Movies are for marketing. I keep telling people. You were about to say something. I heard a voice.
I said something.
What did you say?
Oh, rewatch the show.
All right. So Michael Keaton back as Batman. There he is in costume. It looks good, man. He still looks good in the suit. Do you think they had to let it out a little bit, or do you think he fit?
Oh yeah, they had to tailor it up just a little bit. Yeah, he's a little older.
He's gotten barrel chested, dude. He's gotten barrel chested now that he's in his early 60s, right? His more serious and comic accurate take on Batman gave new life to the franchise until Joe Schumacher came along. Again, I don't blame Joel Schumacher. I blame Warner Brothers and McDonald's for that shit.
Well, Schumacher did give us the most accurate comic accurate Bane than we've ever had.
Close. Yep. Look wise. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as the way he looked, yes, absolutely looked like him. Moreover, the universally acclaimed Batman, the animated series, would never have happened without Michael Keaton's Batman movies. And that's agreed too. So it's no surprise that fans were beyond excited to learn about his role in the Flash movie. Furthermore, it was also revealed that Michael Keaton would continue to play Batman in future DCEU films, including a live-action Batman Beyond movie, which I've been stoked about. What do you think about that, Loki? Because I've never talked to you about that.
If they actually have a good Terry McGinnis, it will work. If they do not, and they screw this up, and they do some weird like gender swapping or flip casting or some crap, it's not gonna work. But if they honor the original cartoon, then yes, it's gonna be huge.
Now he did reprise his role in the Batgirl movie, but that did not work because they did some woke shit with it. Nonetheless, the movie was infamously canned by Warner Brothers, thus leaving Michael Keaton's future in question. Once DC Studios was formed, it more or less confirmed that Keaton's return would be one and done deal. Whilst this is unfortunate, it's still, and look, man, they say that, but you know as well as I do that if this thing does really well and fans react well, they would be insane not to try to do something else with him.
Yeah.
That's just crazy. It's crazy talk. But they do that. It's a safety feature, because they're assuming it probably won't go over well, or potentially.
And
So-
Sox Bulletins is saying that Keaton is 71.
71. My God, he's older than I thought. Damn. So whilst this is unfortunate, it still would be good to see him back in the cape and cowl for one last time with The Flash set to premiere later this month at CinemaCon 2023. Promotion is now in full swing. Already more effort has been put into The Flash's promotion than last month's Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Yeah, it just sort of like happened. Promo art featured the movie's 3 lead superheroes has now been officially released. One being a full look of Michael Keaton in his brand new bat suit, definitely more modern than it was back in 1992, Batman Return, but still maintaining its charm. I don't know what that means. If Kieran was here, I'm like, what do you mean charm?
Most likely it means he still can't turn his head to the left or to the right. It's stuck in the forward position.
You got to do the shoulder turn. Full body turn. I got to tell you, I like the fact that they changed that with the Dark Knight trilogy. I really did. They got away from that to where the head could move. But my God, I don't give two shits about this Supergirl. I don't give two shits about Batgirl movie. I'm glad that got canned. But I am looking forward to seeing this Flash movie to see if all the hubbub is worth it. And to see Michael Keaton back in the suit acting like Batman. In fact, the trailer shows him do something that we only saw done by Christian Bale and Ben Affleck did it too, where full Batman action mode. And we get to see him do it in that one trailer where he drops down, picks that guy up, goes up, and then drops him. I'm like, that was fucking cool. That's the Batman we always wanted to see, and we never got to see because all the action scenes with Keaton were limited because the suit was so constrictive. It was hard to do things with that suit on. So they did the best they could, but Keaton nailed it. I think his, to be honest with you, I always liked his Bruce Wayne too. Always out of sorts. Not sure of himself, kind of not sure how to react to things. That scene with him and Jack Nicholson, Jack Napier, when you ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight. And what's that line he says when he pulls out the fire poker?
You want to get nuts? Come on. Let's get nuts.
Nuts.
That's like one of the single best, greatest Batman moments when he did that. And then he asked the question, do you ever dance with the devil by the pale moonlight? I like to ask that of all my
prey. Yeah. I thought it was prey.
Prey.
Yeah.
It is prey.
I just like the sound of it.
I just like the sound of it. There's some great lines. Like the one that got taken out of the movie always bugged me. It's like, because it's in the movie, where does he get those toys? And then he turns to Bob and he's, well, don't just stand there, Bob. Go ask
him.
I don't know. I'm tickled to see him in the costume again. When do we see the wide release for this film?
June 16th.
So if you're going to the convention, you get to see it early, is what they're saying. Okay.
Yeah, if you go to SnyderCon, you get to see it early, but
it's going to be interesting. I'm curious because it's going to be hard for them. I'm sure they'll try to put a moratorium on it if it's bad.
Yeah.
But if you start hearing good reports, we're probably going to hear this month how good it is. So I'm looking forward to finding out. All right, moving on to the next one. Let's see, what do we got here? No, I'm not interested in that one at all. I got to be honest. There's really nothing that interesting this week over there on.
Hey,
Geekosity.
we've got to go the secret reveal of the secret cameo from the Flash movie.
Oh, what's that one?
You pulled up the article.
Yeah, stop telling me how to do my job. I'm such an asshole. There we go. This one. So the Flash screening confirms hilarious surprise cameo. This is written by Mikey Sutton. I like Mikey's writing, by the way. If you've never read it, he's very snarky.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's why he and I are good friends. We talk because we tend to be pretty simpatico on things. I mean, don't get me wrong. He and Keith get along really well too, but Mikey and I actually agree probably more than anybody. The Flash had a recent screening that confirmed its hilarious surprise cameo. While some will see the humor in it, on the other hand, others will groan at yet another goofball move from Warner Brothers concerning its DC properties. While the Ezra Miller movie continues to receive from advanced showings, this particular appearance will likely polarize fans, especially since they took Henry Cavill's Superman out of the film, but added this in. Apparently, this was DC Studios co-CEO James Gunn's idea, and it's certainly wacky enough to believe. The following is a major spoiler for The Flash, especially for those who didn't read Geekosity in February or watch Sil Abdul's YouTube channel. Abdul scooped this at the time and covered it on Valentine's Day. Brace yourselves. Are you guys ready for this? Can we handle this?
Yeah, we can handle it.
You can't handle the truth. There's another Batman in The Flash. Perhaps Gunn was thinking of Spider-Man No Way Home and decided to toss in another Dark Knight. The worst of them all. George Clooney is in The Flash.
There's no way they did this. Tell me that they did.
They did it.
Oh my God.
I heard they had done it. And I got to tell you, Sil, when it comes to his DC scoops, really spot on.
Well, I hear he's not actually Batman. He's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, he's Bruce Wayne. But that's sort of like saying he's George Washington, but not the president.
Yeah.
Does he have caramel covered bat nipples?
What? Man, yeah, let's not even get into that one, Loki. Jesus. Look, I'm going to tell you, I went to see the second one with George Clooney. And I'm sitting there with Zoe, my daughter's mother. And I said to her before the movie started, I said, I swear to God, one ass shot or fucking nipples, I'm up and out of here. And she's okay. She giggled. Movie started like right up there at the beginning. Fucking putting on the suit, ass shot, fucking nipples. And I got up to leave and she's grabbing me. No, I want to watch this. Don't go. This really happened. I got up to leave. I was done. I didn't want to watch any more of that crap.
It's not true, but there's one cameo I wish would have been, and that is
what's that?
Nick Cage showing up as Superman.
Yeah, I heard those rumors. I knew it was going to happen. But anyway, at this point, followers wonder if DC Studios is Bizarro World, as they seem to give the opposite of what many fans want. Instead of Cavill, they're searching for a young actor. Ben Affleck will not be brought back as Batman post-Flash. DC Studios will seek another Batman. In addition to two men in charge of DC Studios are responsible for some of their biggest box office failures. The Suicide Squad and Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Bizarro World, I'm telling you, Mikey says. Clooney starred in 1997's critical and commercial disaster Batman and Robin. Batman and Robin died theatrically, earning only $238.2 million globally. Both critics and audiences were in agreement in how awful it was. It was really bad. In fact, the campy Batman and Robin tarnished the brand so badly that it nearly killed the lucrative franchise. It wasn't until director Christopher Nolan's 2005 reboot, Batman Begins, that Warner Brothers believed that there remained life in the IP. Well, that just also shows how stupid they are. There's always life if you just bring somebody in to do something good.
Yeah,
that's all you need. Audiences don't give two shits about the way Hollywood thinks movies should be. What they care about is respect and love towards a property that they respect and love. Am I correct in that thinking?
Yeah, you are. That's
it's like if you just simply respect the property and make a film that shows adoration to that character, not irreverent, because when you do something irreverent, it lacks reverence. Be reverent to these characters. which in its own way, the Dark Knight trilogy by Nolan really did respect Batman as a character.
You know,
And
if they
fans
wanted to
loved it.
do, I'm sorry.
No, what are you going to say?
I was just gonna say, if they wanted to do something like shocking with like, oh, let's take a peek into that universe, don't use Clooney. Bring back Arnold. He was the only good thing about that entire movie. His Mr. Freeze.
Please.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold night in Gotham.
Chill out.
Chill out.
Yeah,
I'm
even though- and
Mr.
this is
White
funny.
Christmas.
I am a huge Arnold fan, and my girlfriend knows that, and because she's from Vienna, and she secretly does little Arnold impressions for me because she knows it makes me feel all warm and fuzzy. I love Arnold, man. I love him. I couldn't understand a fucking word he said in that movie. I was like, what did he say? What did he say? It was like I couldn't tell what he said, and he's playing Freeze. But you go all the way back to the original first live action version of Mr. Freeze, and they again had a German speaking actor, Otto Preminger, play Freeze. And it's kind of a perfect idea to have someone Germanic play him. I think we just lost Keith.
Yeah.
We did. Keith left.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lost connection, I guess. But anyway, George Clooney is the worst. I don't know what the hell that's about. I really don't. There he's back. He was awful quiet. You back? Keith?
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 Hey.
There.
There.
All right. Before we leave this, I wanted to get your thoughts on George Clooney back as Batman.
Love it. I thought he was a fantastic Bruce Wayne. Hated his Batman. Thought he
That's
was
the
a
problem.
fantastic-
He's good as Bruce Wayne. He's
Yeah.
terrible as Batman.
And so since it looks like he's only going to be Bruce Wayne, I love it.
That's a good
More the
argument.
merrier. More the
That's a
merrier.
good. That's actually a really good argument. I don't agree, but it's a good argument. George Sanders, yes, George Sanders also played Mr. Freeze. I think they had 3 Mr. Freezes, didn't they, in the series,
Yeah, I think
live
so.
action series when we were kids?
66.
It was Otto Preminger first, and then from Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The Ugly.
Yeah.
Eli Wallace?
Eli Wallach.
Eli
yes.
Wallach.
Yeah.
Eli Wallach was the second one, and then the third one was George Sanders, which is ironic because it wasn't too long after that he committed suicide. Was it Batman that killed him? I don't know.
Yeah. Was it Batman that killed the Saint? I don't know.
He was the original Saint.
No, he wasn't. He was one of the actors that had the role. He was not the first person to be the Saint.
I thought he was the first one.
Nope. He was the most popular
Because then
one.
his brother took it over, but then he called it another character. They made it's the same character based on Simon Templar.
Yes.
But then they called him the Falcon.
Yeah.
They called him the Falcon, but it was the Saint.
Yeah.
And they actually used some of the books for the stories. I don't want to go off because you and I will go off into the weeds on this stuff.
For too long, we will go off.
Yes. But to end this article, it says, The Flash simply visits Clooney's universe, reminding everyone of DC's worst moments. Alas, there isn't enough optimism to think those days are over. But we'll see. Hey, William is here.
Yeah,
William.
I'm dealing with bad internet and all kinds of stuff, but I'm on my phone, so forgive me.
No problem, man. Keith, this is William. William, this is Keith. Loki, this is William.
Hey.
William is Loki.
What's up,
Good to
William?
meet you, William.
Nice
John.
to meet you all. I'm
My-
usually an on-face camera guy, but like I said, we're dealing with some internet issues, and I had a customer like waiting for me right
And he
as
has,
I got in
that's
the
right.
door.
You shoot from your comic shop.
Yep.
Yep.
And I had one of my regular convention guys who was making his semi-annual trip, and he was waiting for me at the door. And as soon as I got in, took care of him. Cox decided to do what Cox usually does to me, and our internet's all jammed up. So we went to the AT&T backup, which is from my my Galaxy Note.
Outstanding, dude. Well, I'm glad you're here, dude. So, hey, Slasher Fred, who all is here right now? Let me see who's all here. Getting a private chat. Penny is here. Socks Bulletins. Munka Jubas. Anima Confusa, Love of My Life. Small Time Republic. And Slasher Fred. Hope everybody's having a good Friday. I know Penny has been here for a while. She's been here since this morning. It's It's like doing 2 shows back to back like that is just. We should just automatically just start keep the stream going. So, Slasher Fred says the late George Sanders also played Mr. Freeze. He was known for playing Shere Khan. That's right, in the Jungle Book, animated Jungle Book. And I always loved George Sanders' voice. He had a very silky voice, very relaxing, calming, like he's going to murder you. The best voice for a murderer. What you need to do is sit down and drink the tea. So
George Saunders was just cool. He was just plain cool.
And do you know what his last words were in his suicide note?
No.
Welcome to this cesspool. I leave it to you. He had his fill of Hollywood.
Oh, what an uplifting way to start the weekend, eh?
You know what? Are we starting the weekend or ending the week? I can't make up my mind.
Wow.
It's all one long Monday.
Yeah, it's every day's Monday to me because I work every day.
Yeah, I feel
You own a
Trust
comic
me,
shop,
I
so
feel
you do too. Yeah, I know
I
you
feel
do.
you. It's on a Friday in Vegas, and the weather's perfect. Trust me, it's a miracle I was able to even to get in here. Usually, I have enough time to warm up, but nope, not
Danny
today.
is there. We need to have you simulcast with Danny. I think that'll be fun. That'll be the true test of your mettle if you can broadcast with Danny.
Uh-oh. I have not met Danny. Is that a challenge?
It is a challenge. Danny is our wrestling show host, and you're gonna
no, I'll have no problem with him. Any of my wrestling brethren.
Yeah, you've watched it, Dork Side of the Ring. John,
okay,
all the way down
no
on
problem.
The end is the show manager for that show on Sundays. And,
oh no, I look forward to that then.
Yeah, you need to join him. That'll be fun because he's in Vegas too. And
you know what? I can't believe we haven't met in some way, shape, or form, though. I mean, I'm wondering if we've already met.
I've seen your show.
Yeah,
I've seen your show, and I made fun. Who was it? Monkey introduced us, and I said, look, I'm looking for someone to take the seat for Keith when he's not here, but I also want them to be a regular thing. And I said, I think you took me too serious and found me another black nerd.
Hey man, we got to keep up to representing the numbers.
Right. Represent.
We're 13% of the population. We can't afford to be replaced, man.
That's exactly what they talked about at the last Black Guy meeting. And wasn't that speech by Denzel just inspiring? I mean,
yeah, you got it.
He actually did give a speech recently, and it was inspiring.
What makes you think we're kidding, Gary? I mean, there is a Black Guy meeting. I mean,
Yeah,
I wouldn't know. I'm caucasoidal.
William, we have a question for you here.
Okay, let's do that.
Yeah, tell Penny. Now that's Danny's mom, by the way.
Okay,
Penny is Danny's mom, Dork Knight.
Hi, Penny.
Hi, Penny. What I have is a place. Its technical name is a science fiction retail and event center, because I have events and stuff here. I have a screening room here. About 1/4 of it is comic books. So that's how I got started back in the mid '90s. It has grown into basically a science fiction hobby store. I have a Star Trek section, a Star Wars section, a random horror section in the back. In the front area, I've put some occult stuff, but mostly it narrows down to those 3 genres. So it's kind of like a slash museum, but it's actually a retail area. One of these days when I get when the internet comes back up and I get another camera, I'm actually going to do a tour of it because it has sections that are on wheels. So when we do our Game of Thrones screenings, we do our wrestling stuff, anything like that, I can roll it back and convert it into a screening room. We used to use it for that all the time. But as those crowds grew, I have a driving capacity. I'm actually on the 2nd floor looking over our parking lot, and we can set up drive-ins in the parking lot. And I also have a courtyard where we actually held a wrestling event. If you go to our Instagram, you'll see we actually put a legit ring in the middle of our courtyard and held a wrestling event a couple of weeks ago. You'll see me walking around with I have my Ric Flair belt, and I look like a fool, but that's what I do. So,
hey, do me a favor, William. Would you share the link with Martin in the private chat? And then Martin can share it out with the audience. And
Okay.
once again, I don't feel like I give enough love to our KGRA audience. We have thousands of people listening to our show through KGRA app. And I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Bill is working on it. We're going to get to a point where you guys can call in on the show. And when that happens, I'm going to have so much fun. I've always wanted to be Larry King.
Next caller.
Next caller, Seattle. When I was a kid, I was 16 years old, and I couldn't sleep at night. I was an insomniac, so I'd be up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning every night, and I'd listen to Larry King overnight. And I loved how he would just he would go, New York. So he'd say something. He goes, "Get off, you idiot!" And he'd hang up on him. And I'd love the way he'd do that, just hang up on people. That we won't do that because we're going to have awesome audience listening. And if I won't hang up on Monkey Jeebus, I won't hang up on anybody. Right, John?
Yep, that's true.
Because I love Monkey Jeebus. Jeebus, we don't agree hardly 50% of the time, but I just love him. I like hearing his opinion, and I like throwing my opinion right back at him. But we do that with our audience. We like interacting with them, William. That's part of what makes this channel what it is. And Loki, I don't know very many channels that do that interact the way we do with our audience. What are your thoughts on that? Do we do that right?
Oh, that's key, man. That is, talking to your audience and responding to questions and interacting with them and treating them like they are part of the show. Because they are
part of the show. They are.
Exactly.
And you know where I learned that from? Johnny Carson.
Yeah.
Johnny Carson always interacted with his audience. I love that.
They're why the show's there. Even if Jeebus, I mean, he's on our show. Most of our weekly shows that are Q&A, they're non-topical until the weekend shows. So I'll spend about 45 minutes doing a Q&A, having people ask questions.
A guy like you with a lot of knowledge, so I'm sure you like talking with him.
Yeah, Jeebus is pretty cool. And like I said, we got a pretty good collection of people. Our main thing is just keeping things civil and making sure that it doesn't turn into a feeding fest. But most of the time, it's just people asking basic questions, and then a lot of the times the chat will come up with some of the answers that some of the other people are looking for. So it's kind of a community there. But yeah, being able to interact with audiences, I think that's literally why I started doing it. Because like I said, I got into business because I like interacting with geeks. So that's an extension of interaction with geeks, is being on YouTube and doing this. So it's been a lot of fun.
Outstanding. Looks like Martin, did you send the invite on TGIF? If not, I'm going to go do it real quick because I just saw Steven's in the chat and not on the show. So, and he's making the side face. So, but I think it's important to interact with your audience. I mean, they're the reason why I do it in the first place, is to talk to these guys, and they're part of the show. I mean, if we just throw around knowledge, it's fun. And we do. Between Keith and I for years, it was just him and me just talking about what we know and how we interpret things. But now it's more of an interactive process. Yeah. And we have such a great audience. We really do. And I love these guys.
Yeah, a lot of times the audience ends up knowing more than you.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
That's what she said.
Jesus Christ, Danny's here. You
Did
son
somebody,
of a bitch.
I think you guys summoned me like the Candy Man, because I could have swore I felt you guys talking about me, so I had to. Or wrestling, one of the two.
You can either say Dork Night, Dork Night, Dork Night, or Dick Face, Dick Face, Dick Face.
Wow.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll go with Dork Night. I'll go with Dork Night.
I love the haircut, Danny. It looks good on you.
Oh, it's just it's not cut. I actually
shit. Get away from the microphone for a second. Look at that. Look at him. Look how gorgeous he is.
You would definitely pick up chicks at a lesbian bar.
Oh,
I just didn't. No, I just.
Dump truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just didn't put anything in my hair. I didn't get it cut. Normally I put shit in it, and you always say it looks like plastic.
Yeah, you have one of those. It looks like those plastic hair pieces that you put on.
Yeah, like what'd you call it, Crazy Town or whatever?
Yeah, Crazy Town.
Or Lazy Town or Lazy Town.
Lazy.
Yeah, Lazy.
Now he's got the Shatner.
Yeah, the Shatner.
So Did I hear correctly? Somebody else, or my mom said somebody else here is from Vegas, or
Yeah,
is in Vegas?
William, who has joined our show, he is now going to be hopefully a permanent part of the show. It's all up to him.
He will.
I'm hoping so. He is here to set in for Keith when Keith can't be here, but also to be a new permanent part to increase the breadth of our conversations.
The diversity.
Well, William, you and I ought to get to. Are you going to the Nerdrotic meetup on Wednesday?
I just thought about that yesterday. I'm going to have to be honest. Most likely, no. Not because I'm just. I'm
you do the So you do the Sci-Fi Center?
Yeah, I own it. I'm it.
I'm Fat Beard. We've years and years ago when I did The Walking Dead. I've been out here 14 years. I was doing those Walking Dead parties for years.
Okay, I remember that. Ouch! You just hit my head. Yeah, I remember that. I know we've had to met, especially with wrestling and anything else. I know we've had to.
Yeah. And I mean, I know RVD, and I hang out at the Nerd, or I used to hang out at the Nerd a lot with because that's like a wrestler hangout. But no, we ought to get together sometime. The Salty Nerds let me use their studio if I have like an in-person guest. So I mean, we could always. I'd love to have you on the wrestling show sometime too.
I'd love to be on. Like I said, anytime I have an unhealthy addiction to pro wrestling, so anytime I can talk about it.
Have you seen his Facebook pictures posing with the belt? I love it. What, Steven?
Technically, when he says lets him use the studio, it means breaking and entering. And you breaking and entering.
Whatever.
You say tomato.
He's not denying it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be on the show.
Alex and Matt about it. I said, hey, I heard you guys were letting Danny use the studio. And they went, what?
And they changed the locks.
I'm actually going to be on their show tomorrow morning, so I'll be missing your morning show. But
okay.
We're going over Picard and Mandalorian, one of which I loved and one of which I loathed.
Mandalorian.
I love Picard. I'm going to be doing our show tonight with Robert Meyer Burnett at 8:00.
Oh my God.
You're going to be on with my brother, Robert Meyer Burnett?
Yep, 8 p.m. Pacific time.
Hey,
man.
William, why don't you
check that out?
Keith? I'm just hinting it. He doesn't need to know.
Well, no. I may not be home tonight. I just got informed about an event where they might need my help, and I'll talk about it after I'm off the show. So
I'd love to talk to you, Keith, because you came into my stream yesterday, and which I appreciate very much, by the way. And dude, I was like getting gangbangs. It was 3-on-1. I was with 3 haters of Picard, and I was just like, I had to walk away a few times. I don't know if you noticed.
I love the episode.
See, I got something to say on that with the Picard stuff. Like, honestly, it's a good season. It's not perfect, but no one should be crapping on anyone for enjoying 10
Oh my God, no! Kadish did
that whole crap,
180.
That divide crap that's going on. Honestly,
especially with Trek.
Yeah,
Trek.
Keep it calm. It's not like Kurtzman's going to raise from the grave if someone press rewind. And
man,
like Harry, when he already had a contract signed, and everyone's like, "It's all your fault. He's back." I'm like,
"Yep,
yeah."
How?
No, here's the problem. When it comes to Kurtzman, I'm sorry. When it comes to Kurtzman, I hear the same crap about when Brandon Braga and Berman. You guys got to understand these guys that they always target. If you take them away from Star Trek, you don't have Star Trek, all right?
Yep.
You take Kurtzman out of the game, you don't have Star Trek. You take Berman and Braga, which it's spelled for years, you don't have Star Trek. So I don't understand the hate towards those individuals.
Can I make a quick joke with that
it's
too?
sort of like, look, Keith and I have shit all over him over the years with, what's his name, Harv Bennett. Because Harv Bennett was one of the most destructive forces within Star Trek, for Star Trek. He's the reason why Star Trek V sucked. You're always going to have people like that in Star Trek. And the fact is, if you go all the way back to Star Trek in the 60s, we know the 3rd season pretty much sucked because Gene Roddenberry gave up and left and just walked away from it. And he wasn't going to tend the garden anymore because he knew that it was canceled. and he went on to start something new. What, Keith?
My thing with Alex Kurtzman is this.
We hate
I don't
him.
think
He's a hack.
I don't think I would really be that down on the guy if he was actually good at writing. I just think that coming in and taking over the way that he did after Brian Fuller was kicked out, fired, choose whatever the word you want, what he ended up doing with that material that Brian Fuller had worked hard on, wasn't very good. And
neither was Brian Fuller's materials.
Kurtzman is a hack who just knows the right people. He came from that J.J. Abrams camp, and he's like these project managers I work with. I don't know if there's anybody else in IT or
the ones that dictate
design
but have no clue what they're doing, and then expect to solve their
no
problems.
idea what the hell they're talking about, but they know keywords.
It's even before that too. There's a perfect example of how we can sum up Kurtzman besides Muppet Baby eyebrows. It's the fact that this guy went live on an online Comic-Con and said this is a platform for ideology. And that's where it had a shift, because we knew now it was becoming from a personal bias of ideology rather than exploring the universe, betterment of mankind, and actually letting the audience themselves learn the lessons and perceive the lessons that were there, done through layer thinking and delivery. Yeah. That is not happening when it comes to discovery.
No, and a lot of these people, they actually try to use the fact that the original series and even TNG to a certain extent used. They used analogies and they were allegorical. Allegories is the word I was looking for. And they weren't doing what Discovery. Like I had to stop watching Discovery. Like I stopped reviewing it with the Salty Nerds before the end of season 2, so I haven't seen anything after season 3, and I'm thankful for that. Based off of what I've heard,
because of it.
I love Discovery. But
I wasn't going to watch Picard season 3 because I had to review it with the Salty Nerds for seasons 1 and 2, and at the end of season 2 I told them I was done, but our friends over at the Popcast, they swore up and down because they got to see all 10 episodes in November that we would love it, we would love it. So I'm so thankful I let them talk me into it, because I do love it. But the problem is Kadish was loving it up until and then episode 9 happened. And Vox. Vox, and he just he fell off a cliff, and he's got a 30-minute, but he makes good points. But I was so wrapped up in the feels, dude. I was bawling for at least 30 minutes of that episode. Like I was watching it on my big screen TV. My girl's not really into Star Trek. Had all the lights off. I was watching it at midnight, and oh my god, dude! When they, I think it was like maybe 10 minutes in. Just the thought of when Picard is saying goodbye to everybody on the bridge, I start to choke up a little bit, because you think he's gonna immediately think he's gonna die, and then later when they talk about where Geordi asked Beverly, basically for her blessing to kill her son, that part got me. And then when Riker said, when he had his full character arc where he went from episode 4 to not believing in an afterlife to saying to Imzadi, we'll see you, soon, or whatever, I'll be with our son and we'll see you. And it was so beautiful. Dude, I was snot bubble crying the whole time. The scene with Picard and his son. I'm sorry. Go ahead, guys. Yeah, I can.
I want to get video of you blubbering like.
Dude, I was.
The brilliance of this season was it wasn't supposed to be perfect. It wasn't supposed to be the saving grace.
That's right.
In a way, it was supposed to give fans of TNG the closure that poker scene at the end of the last 2 episodes from the original
is right out of all good things.
What we got. And then they
it's the epilogue.
It with
it's
poker.
The epilogue of TNG. It's not the end.
No.
All Good Things was the end. This is the epilogue. This is the very, very, very back of the book.
Yeah, it's brilliant, because not only I'm not going to spoil the secret scenes, but those things touched me in a way. But it showed that even after a 35-year gap, or however you want to look at it, that poker scene that happened on the ship, that friendship actually became something that Picard found precious, and that was one of the most beautiful things we saw out there. Data got his humanity in a way.
Yeah, because
Everyone
Picard tells
got
him I
something.
should have been doing this all along.
Yeah, that was.
the-
Yeah,
Oh,
this-
and
this
yeah, and
one-
the-
yeah, but this one he pulled up the deck, and when I saw that, I was like,
Yeah.
Mother,
He pulled out
thank
the ace,
God.
yeah.
Thank God. And just the little jokes they made about anyone under 25 is infected with a mind virus.
Now,
Thank you.
I
was-
love that.
Yeah, I was.
Well,
I
let me-
like.
But that's it. We have this.
Hold on,
enjoyment.
Keith's been trying to say something.
Yeah.
I have to agree with Steven. This season was not meant to be perfect. In fact, a lot of the big wigs who have been in control of everything pretty much just went off and did other things and just sort of left it. You know, what Terry Metalis and his people were able to do is they just created something that made really characters more important than anything else. And it was about really, again, just putting a fine point on where these characters are, not so much as the you know, it's a really good postscript to what we got from the end and the final season of the Next Generation and Nemesis, in my opinion. But I didn't think it had to be perfect. I'm not one of these people that is shouting from the rooftop, "This is the most perfect thing I've ever seen."
No,
I'm not that guy.
It's that familiarity with
Yeah.
the characters. That is
Yeah.
what Terry gave us. He gave us the familiarity with the characters that we love. That's what season 1 and 2 were missing. Picard
Yeah.
wasn't Picard. And even Patrick Stewart said, you're not going to get Picard like you knew him. That's not me anymore. That's what we want.
Yeah.
We want that guy back. We want Riker back. We want these characters back. And that's what Terry gave us, was that
And-
familiarity.
There-
It didn't
there-
have
but-
to have the greatest story of all time.
Mhm.
It just had to bring those characters back that we
We
knew and
want
that
to
we loved.
feel
All
like
right.
we're back
But-
in their presence.
But
Yeah.
there
Here's the
is-
thing, guys.
there-
Here's the thing we got to be real careful. And I don't know what age the most of the cast is, but I'm 48, so I've been watching
60
throughout.
to 80s, actually. Jordy is the youngest in the 60s.
No, I'm
66.
talking about like as far as us on this panel.
Oh, I thought you said as the crew. My bad.
No,
Oh.
as a viewing group. What
Hell,
we
I
gotta
might
do-
be the baby here, and on the
No,
other
you're
panels, I'm
not.
usually the old fart. Oh, is it you? Is it you? Oh, okay.
What you got to
I'm,
realize is, as much as the feels and the things that people think that honoring Star Trek is, what we went through from 2004 to 2016 was a bunch of people who closed the door on this franchise growing. It's not all for us. All right.
Oh, yeah,
And if it
yeah.
remains that way, hold on. If it remains that way, we're going to end up what we had from 2005 and through most of 2016, where no one wanted to touch Trek because no one wanted to deal with people who wanted to hold on to the old Roddenberry Bible. Not every Trek is going to be, and that's what I'm worried about. As much as I love Picard season 3, this isn't the blueprint going forward. This has to open up to new
That's-
people.
that's
I
not- but
get
that's-
that. No. I get that. Let me at least respond. Let me at least say this. What I'm talking about is bringing in people that actually know something about science fiction. This isn't about holding on to what Roddenberry had. This is about quality, and this is what has really been going on with a lot of genre lately. You have people that are doing things that either feel nothing for the property or so bad at what they're doing that they're bringing everything down.
Is it
And-
nothing for the property or what we feel for the property? Because that's a difference.
It's nothing at all. See, look, the ultimate thing here, what has brought everything out, is the ability to be able to cross over and be able to attract people who, first and foremost, aren't really fans, and at least get them to look at what you have going on. If you're not giving the best that you have, then really, who are you making it for? I get the fact that you want to grow Trek and you want to bring in more people. That's fantastic. I'm all for it.
They've done that. Their mission has been accomplished.
They've done. We've got Prodigy for the kids. We've got
Never needed to do that
Academy. We got Academy coming out for the. For the fans of Discovery, because believe it or not, there actually are fans of
That's why
Discovery.
we have these shows. That's why we have these shows.
We've got Lower Decks. So we got the comedy animated thing. What we're missing is something like, so where I kind of agree but disagree is we need to be moving forward. We need to stay out of the damn past.
That's right.
I'm tired. I mean, we need to. And Terry set the world of Star Trek up perfectly for us to move forward in the 25th century. Whether it's with these kids, it doesn't. I don't even care if it's with. I mean, I'd love to see 7 of 9. I would have rather seen Shaw in 7 of 9. I really am not a fan of Raffi, but
Well,
I mean,
I'm going
it
to tell
doesn't.
you, Danny, that I'm not going to give it away, but that mid-credit scene, I think, sets up a new series.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Yeah, I mean,
they've greenlit the new series already. They just won't announce it until either Comic Con or Star Trek convention. But trust me, you don't set up like they set up this whole year to just drop that.
And in Star Trek, STLV's coming up soon. And speaking of that mid-credit scene, I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Well, look. Let me at least also say this. Let me at least also say this. I think all of us do agree. It's just how you get there. Okay. Just look, for me personally, I'm a firm believer that Star Trek is something that can find people from all different walks of life and backgrounds. But when you make it impossible to be able to bring in new voices, or when the quality of what you're doing is just not that good.
See, that's where I'm subjective at. Because, like, for me, Discovery Season 2 was quality for me. And I've been watching Star Trek since I was 5. And for the first season was rough, but with the exception of Voyager, I haven't liked the first 2 seasons of any Star Trek show that I watched. Mm-hmm. So they've all had to grow into me, and that's fine. Yeah. But we're not having this conversation unless Discovery was quality. Now, subjectively, it may be a different opinion of quality coming from where we're coming from. But I think what people, not you, and I'm not directing this directly at you, but I think in general, if Discovery doesn't do what Discovery does, we are not talking about Picard Season 3. We're not talking about Strange New World. All right. And it's the same thing with J.J. Abrams. All right. Star Trek was dead in the water until they gave him the freedom to cut that umbilical cord from the man babies. All right. That were dragging it down and choking the life out of Trek for, all those years, and go in a direction that I met people that are now watching the original series because of Strange New World and even going further back, the 2008, 2009 movies. All right. And that's what has to happen.
Well, go ahead.
All I was going to say was you do have a certain part of this fandom that are Gene Roddenberry purists. They don't believe DC Fontana existed. They don't believe anyone else had anything to do with making Star Trek 8. You do have a segment of the fandom that believes that and carries that. But I've been a Star Trek fan for 40 years now. And I'm just about to be 44. One of the first movies I ever remember seeing in theater was Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. I know who DC Fontana is. I know what her contribution to Trek was. I know what Majel Barrett was. I know what Gene's was. I know they wanted Gene out after Next Gen started because nothing was getting done, and he didn't want things a certain way, and they wanted to spice shit up. And he was like, nope, because this is my vision and this is what I want. And what you're saying, Trek needed to grow and needed to expand. That's what happened. And it expanded more with DS9 and it expanded more with Voyager. But when you went back, when they did Enterprise, they made a huge mistake.
When we come back from the break, I want to talk about this because Keith and I have spoken about what led
wrong franchise. I have spoken. That's Star Wars.
Star Trek. Because it's what occurred with Enterprise that led to our problems of today. But we do have to go to break. Let's go ahead and go to break now if we can, Bill. We'll be back in 1 minute for our KGRA audience. Hi, guys. This is Gary from Pop Culture Minefield here on KGRA, and we're leaving for our first break. I hope we survive.
Did you know 75% of Americans
Hey members, the new KGRA DB app is now available on iOS and Android devices. Gain on-demand access to any KGRA DB programming. Download any show directly to your mobile device to listen or watch on the go. Go to the App Store and search KGRA DB.
Oh wow, we survived! Welcome back to the commercial break. Now for some more pop culture minefield on KGRA.
Boogity boogity! By the way, we have some more people who have joined the show. War Monkey is here, making us a proper house of monkeys with Monkey Jeebus. Thank you. Come again. Of course, Shinatsky is in the house. Pacific 414, E. Clay Thompson, Magitech Mags. And by the way, Magic Mags, I know that you breached. So I'll be playing your video for you in a second here. But welcome to the show, guys. This is the end of the week party that never ends for 2 hours.
How clever.
And part of it, fuck you, Danny. And Loki has joined us. I'm so happy to have Loki on here. I've been admiring and respecting Loki for a while. We'd hang out every once in a while on other people's shows, but to finally have you on here with me, man.
Yeah, I mean, this is actually I think this is my first time being on a panel with Loki, and I watch, we have a lot of mutual friends, and I watch you almost every morning. And I tell you what, man, this morning, first of all, I was correct in the vote, but man, it's not like you might want to tune in to the show I'm doing tomorrow, because there's three people. There's me, Vader, and Brian from the Popcast. So there's the three. What Matt put in the thumbnail is there's 3 shills versus 3 haters, because the other 3 people on the panel apparently hate the show for whatever reason. Yeah, so that's going to be fireworks on the Salty Nerd podcast tomorrow. So
you meet great friends that way. I got invited to that with Picard season 1. I was like, You're having a pro Picard season 1 talk. I hate it. And my friend PJ goes, yeah, that's why I want you on there. You're going to be the guy that hated it. And I'm like, all right, I can
You're
dig
the
that.
guy that everybody on the panel's going to hate too.
Yeah.
Nah, I like it when the numbers are fair. Like, yesterday it was 3-on-1. Sometimes, 3-on-2 is okay. But, I'm looking forward to an even 3-on-3. I think it should be a fun, friendly, because we're all friends in real life also. I mean, like
it's important. I think it's important to be among friends. I don't like doing panels with people I don't know anymore. I really do not go on unless I know somebody there or most of the people there, because and Keith was there that night. We were on there, and there's this idiot that was in the panel that just could not listen to criticism of Star Wars. And he couldn't get one word out before the guy kept interrupting him. And I lost my shit on this guy live. Because, look, there's a show that doesn't even exist anymore by a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine. He invited me on, and his co-host pissed me off. And I called him a fucking idiot live on the show. And it just went down from there. I just started mocking him. And it was deleted. No one will ever see that video. But I'm almost sorry for it, because I really dug into this guy for being a moron, trying to say that the sequel trilogy is as good as the original trilogy. And I'm like, what are you basing that on? I mean, please give me some information. I'm giving you technical information on why it isn't. But it's the same thing with it. And that night I lost my cool because the guy kept interrupting Keith. And I got mad, and then I said, I'm going to leave. And it's my rule now. I only get on shows, even if we're going to disagree, with people I know respect me and I respect them. Because
that's yeah, I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I think it's like a generational thing. Like, we should be able to, like, you can like something and, I can dislike that same thing. We can have a discussion about it without being assholes to one another or disrespectful to one another. And at the end of the day, we can agree to disagree
I shit on
with our lives.
Equally.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying these younger kids today, I mean, I hate to sound like such an old man, but like the millennials and Gen Zers, yeah, right. They're just so quick to like vilify you, and I think that's a whole other topic. Never mind. Sorry.
There's also another.
Whoa, Steven, I can barely hear you.
Are
Let me
you
turn you up.
All right, is this better?
Oh, hey, yeah.
Because I've been trying to talk and I keep getting muffled out. I don't know what's going on with my mic. I got two things so give me about 5 minutes here. First things first is with the Star Trek stuff. I'm happy as hell that there's new fans enjoying Strange New Worlds and Discovery and this 2 first seasons of Picard. That's fantastic. The shady crap that was pulled within those seasons while saying I'm like scraping Gene off the boot and stuff like that are thrown in innuendos in that show does not help trying to make, hey, old fans, you're still respected. That is Kurtzman being, or whoever is doing that, being complete another, excuse my language, twat waffle. That stuff I don't agree with. When you're antagonizing fans, as we've seen throughout all of the last recent Trek, that does not give the sway. You're pretty much saying, we don't like you no more. We just want new fans. I agree. Fans have to come on all
generations. Though, Stephen, just an add to it is, we want your money, but we want you to shut up.
But see, I'm the overlap, and I don't feel insulted. And I've been watching it just as long as anybody. So what I'm saying is I can respect other people's points of view of how passionate they may pick up or not pick up on certain things. But at the same time, I think the dangerous assumption, and it's the assumption that kept Trek off the air for a long time during the mid-2000s, is that every person in that particular generation might feel the same way. And I love the new. I'm a lover of new Trek. I'm sorry. I may be in the minority here, but I love new Trek.
Because you said that earlier, William, the reason Star Trek was gone for so long was because Les Moonves didn't like Star Trek at the
sci-fi really, period. He hated sci-fi,
and like he's the one that once Paramount sold to what was it, CBS or whatever, like it was writing was on the wall.
It was the deal between Moonves and Redstone, and what happened was they split up Mobile Oil, Star Trek. They split it up to where we haven't been able to get true Star Trek back since.
They took Star Trek from Paramount and gave it to CBS, which is
they had the rights split, which was another reason we couldn't do a lot of stuff.
That's where
for
we
a
ended
while.
up with the percentages.
Yeah, because one studio had the movie rights and different one had the TV rights for the longest time, but that's not the case anymore.
But
does that happen if it's a viable franchise?
This is where I get into the serious aspect of this, which is everybody can like whatever they like.
Yes.
But don't tell me when something is good when I know it's not. Because what I do as a critic, a professional critic, is I was trained how to break down structure, because I'm a writer too. And I know good writing when I see it. I know when they're using proper technique. And
Joe's here.
Is some of the worst written stuff I've ever seen. And they have an opportunity to grow here by doing something that Gene and I just forgot his name that created Twilight Zone did, which was hire active science fiction writers.
Hey, man, I don't want to be rude. I've been waiting for a call from this client all day. I got to go. William, call me or text me. Bye, guys.
Yeah, you two need to broadcast together. It'll be great. But I got to make sure he's muted. Just in case.
Can I?
Yeah.
Speak? Okay. Going back to the point I wasn't done with. I'm sorry not to be.
I can barely hear you. I don't know if anybody else can.
Give me.
Yeah, you're very low.
Someone's screwing with my audio, or is it just being?
No, I'm getting ready to turn it up.
How's this?
There, I'm turning.
Is this better?
That's better.
Yep.
All right, I can go up to the. I don't know what's going on. I was trying. I wasn't done here. I was trying to say, yeah. I understand that some people are seeing that. Some people are going to dig into that. The purist thing, I do not agree with. The purist stuff, you eventually have to let go. Legacy can be respected, but you don't have to hold on to the exact same formula. The problem is, purists are going out of the way to attack anyone who gives any type of positivity or criticism that is done fairly, whether negative or positive, and then trying to accost them while standing their ground, saying we're against all of Hollywood that is doing it to us. That hypocrisy needs to go. It is childish. It is high school. Secondly, Discovery does have its good moments. I'll give you that. There are some shots that I do enjoy, the same with Picard. But there's also times where with Picard, it goes off the rails, like you don't know the relationship with Q and Picard. When you see him get bitch slapped like Dynasty, that throws me off because that's not how I remember things. And I know that's a personal thing. That's a feeling thing. But they're not, I don't even think, looking at their notes and trying to branch it off. I can make a good example would be DS9. DS9, everyone hated at the beginning, but eventually started getting better. Same time, it also changed the aspect and formula of most Star Trek because it was always stationary. The universe came to them, but they still had battles. They still had violence. They didn't have swearing, but it's a new age. There's a formula there in DS9 where it takes TNG, TOS, and combines them into what could have been the going forward. That's not sometimes happening here. It's more flashy lights and ideologies mixed in, but there's nothing of Trek when it comes to like the science stuff for the nerds that I think is fulfilling that part of it. It's Trek in name sometimes, but not Trek in spirit. And I have seen TOS, Voyager, Enterprise, DS9, TNG, all the movies. I've even read my dad's books and the animated series. But there is something different in the age now with Trek and Kurtzman than there was in the previous. Things do evolve, but you don't lose the spirit, and that's the problem.
It's lost its spirit of adventure. It's exactly what it's
the exploration of mankind.
Yeah.
Why is it everything is so dark now? Why is everything on the verge of collapse?
I get it.
Why is there no exploration anymore? That is my biggest problem. Strange New World is
and what's with
attacking
the
that,
bad
but you have to go in
science?
the past.
What about the bad science? The bad physics?
Yes. No, I absolutely agree with that. And going back, that's what I brought up earlier. Going back and starting over from the beginning instead of continuing that journey. Look how much adventure we had from TOS, the movies, the TMP era, into TNG, into DS9, into Voyager. It was like one giant story carrying us forward, and then we're gonna go back 200 years ago, and
this is where we get
into
into.
And I mean no disrespect to I can't see his name. Where'd he go?
Keith. Oh, I don't know where William went.
He's seen.
Here's what happened. You have back in the 90s, there was a promise made, Loki. It was a promise made to Ronald D. Moore that the next Star Trek was his. That they're moving forward after the movies and stuff, and he was guaranteed and promised that the next Star Trek TV show was his to run. That was what was said. He left the studio. This literally happened. He left the studio, forgot something, went back to the studio after lights out, walked in and caught an after-hours meeting between Rick Berman and Michael
Brandon Braga.
Or Brandon Braga, I'm sorry.
And Rick Berman.
Enterprise.
Yeah.
For Enterprise. And he realized they fucking lied to him.
I've heard that story.
He caught him red-handed. And he walked away, and this is the irony of everything. They got their Enterprise series that did the one thing they shouldn't have done. They went back. They got their show, and the show did exactly as was promised because Moonves said, you get this much viewership, and I'll continue the show. They got those numbers. They did. They increased the viewership. They got it. But he shut the show down because... and here's irony at work, Ronald D. Moore went off and created Battlestar Galactica, the new series. And Moonves wanted the new Star Trek to be like Battlestar Galactica on sci-fi.
Well, and then they had canned that with Voyager. That was what Voyager was supposed to be. That was his idea, and that's what he was waiting on was that, and then got dicked up. That was a second time he had gotten dicked over.
Second time he got dicked over, but I'm telling you, dude, Ronald D. Moore got his revenge. It's because of him Enterprise got canceled. Because he put out Battlestar Galactica. And Moonves wanted Enterprise to be more like Battlestar Galactica and thus decided not to put any more money into it and canceled it.
And my argument really is that, again, you can't really move forward if you don't have any quality writing that also helps to bring in non-fans. You know, when you have something like a Breaking Bad, because nobody saw that show coming, okay? Nope. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon. When you look at all of the quality shows, even The Expanse, which is really what which is really what Alex Kurtzman actually was trying to do with Discovery, which is make his own version of The Expanse. He was trying to do that with Discovery and mainly with Picard. The thing is that the writing for The Expanse was way better than both Discovery and Picard. And again, my other argument is Discovery is not doing that well. Seriously, the one time they put Discovery on CBS, the ratings did worse than Batwoman. Batwoman. You know, this is not about what older fans or whoever has. That's not it at all. The issue is quality writing. Okay? I got nothing against any of the cast members or any of the people that work on the show. My biggest thing is against the writers. They're not good.
Well, that's yours and mine both. It's like you save the show in the writing. You've got the actors. It's a good cast. I'm going to tell you right now, Loki, I am not a fan of Strange New Worlds, but there are 2 episodes I liked. I liked them from first, opening to the end. 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds I thought was well done because it was written well. I also like the fact that they got science back into Star Trek with Star Trek Strange New Worlds. I didn't like walking onto the bridge. First thing you see is like a bunch of women. I'm just like, oh, come on, man. You know, even the armed security guard on the bridge is fucking female. I'm like, come on, guys, stop being woke. Have a few women on there. Do a good, nice mix. Different races. Stop doing this thing. And they actually did what Klingons complained about in the original film, film series, the Humans Only Club. And they've done that with Star Trek. They're all humans all the time.
Yeah.
And it's like, didn't we get to the point where we can start having more aliens on there that are not so humanoid? Yeah. That's why I like Orville. You got a blob. You got a fucking blob.
One of the
and
best
they should be
things
doing
about-
that. They absolutely should be doing more of that. You should have the Endorians there. You should have the Tellarites there. You should have the Vulcans there. You should have all these different
aliens
races
you recognize.
There.
Don't throw in character aliens that weren't supposed to be there, like the Gorn.
Don't turn the Gorn into predator/aliens, right? Xenomorphs.
They literally forgot the key word here with Starfleet and the Federation of Planets. What is the point of calling yourself a Federation of Planets if it's just humans?
It's a Homo sapien only club.
That's yeah. The best
thing about
it's 1942 Star Trek. Let's just go there.
That's a Vader. The best thing about Strange New Worlds, though, is they went back to the formula of the original series and a lot of Next Generation, where you don't have to watch Shakespearean play and not miss an episode. There are some run-through threads.
Each episode was encapsulated. It was its own little story.
Exactly.
With an overarching.
There's an overarching story behind it, but each episode, you're not losing anything if you miss one. Yeah.
And I get
Marvel
back. And Strange New Worlds is doing that. The Strange New Worlds tried to go back to episodic TV. And I kind of like that. I didn't like the show. I had problems with things, but they brought the science back, and I like that. They actually have a physicist in there that halfway knows what they're talking about.
Best thing about
I like all the Tatrions and the Tetrazoids and stuff. It's very scientific.
It's like everyone is trying to do the Marvel formula. You got to watch this episode to get to the end story of the season.
That's exactly what I thought when I saw the headline that the other day that Sector 31 was going to start Phase 2 of Star Trek. I'm like, what? There was a Phase 1? What?
It's a limited series, though, so you have. It's
I understand that, but I mean the phrasing, the headline itself saying it's Phase 2. Oh, okay. When did you start phases? Why are you trying to be Marvel?
Yeah, but they're looking at Disney and Marvel, and they're not looking at Disney's failures.
There's William.
Now, if we look at
but to support your point,
and my buddy Matt's
Steven,
here.
there is some good stuff about Discovery. The best thing about it was season 2 with Anson Mount. That's why he got his own series. And the part in it, spoilers if you haven't seen it, but the part I loved was the one where he had to go get the Klingon crystal, where he actually saw what was going to happen to him.
Well,
that was
there's
awesome.
a really good moment because he's misinterpreting his future. And I like that.
Yeah.
That he thinks he's going to die. But that's not the case. We know as the audience.
We know what's going to happen to him, but he doesn't. Yeah.
Well, we know a version of it. Look,
but
what
we
I
also don't know that in this universe that's how it's going to end.
Wait, right there. Gary nailed it. And I've heard this on Nerdrotic and a bunch of other channels too.
Uh-huh.
They could have solved this whole Star Trek formula and not had any of this divide and anything like that as one way. They actually told us this series is in this universe, this series is in this universe, these characters are from this universe, and then they did the stories and timelines dedicated to each, rather than going, oh God, what are you doing to the legacy? Oh God, what are you going to do this? If they actually gave a voice note and said, this is where we're going in this timeline, whether Kelvin or original or whatever, it would have saved a lot of all of this crap we all talk about, and people just coming at each other with pitchforks that I used to call friend.
They would have come up with something. They were afraid that if they labeled it that way, people would go, "Oh, well, that's over here, and that doesn't matter because that's not the real thing that we've all watched all these years."
Yeah,
they
and
were
that
absolutely frightened to do that.
Hollywood has no balls.
It's the strength of your writing. That's what really needs to speak volumes beyond anything else. I have heard that that CBS is trying to decide whether or not to just go ahead and have Kurtzman Trek off in its own area. Personally, I see that as a good thing. Not because I'm trying to get rid of anything, but because Strange New Worlds deserves to have really their own unique spin on everything. I don't think you should have to be a slave to all the stuff that came before, especially with Anson Mount's version of Pike. I think you could do it in such a way that if this is a show that could go 5 to 7 to even 10 years, you don't need to be locked into, well, this is going to happen to him. You could go off and have all these adventures with Pike and Spock and Una and do things and just keep it going and have it just be like the Kelvin timeline and go off and have fun. You've got all these characters. You've got all this stuff. My only argument is give us good scripts. Stop crapping out
My
stuff
only
and
complaint.
expecting people to salute.
Give me some good writing.
But don't give them crap. They want to support you. I want to support them. Just give me good scripts. Don't
As a true
waste
Star Trek
my
fan,
time.
we always want to support. Now I'm going to tell you the 2 episodes that surprisingly were well written. Lift Us Where Suffering Cannot Reach, where the kid has to be put in that chair. I thought that was a well-written storyline. Elysian Kingdom, despite I thought it was silly, because that was clearly should have been a Q, not just some entity that they made it. But I giggled. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a fun story. That's it. The rest of them were intermixed with good moments and dumb writing.
And it falls
Are we talking about Strange New World season 1?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, by the way, which you can get on Paramount CBS on video.
And if you're in Vegas, buy it at his store.
Well, we sponsored it. They sent us a bunch, so we were giving away on our Star Trek.
Wait, in Vegas? You're in Vegas? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, Matt, you two need to meet. You need to meet. He's got what's the name of your store again, William?
The Sci-Fi Center.
That's his place,
The
man.
Sci-Fi Center.
I need to come see you next time I'm in Vegas.
Fans are very.
I will be checking
and
it out.
Keith is
for
really
sure.
threatening you. He will show up and stay at your house.
That's fine. That's great. I look forward to meeting anybody who wants to come in.
That's right. I look forward to meeting you, man, because every place I try to visit, I try to look for the best geek and nerd stuff out there, and it seems like you've got a really good store from what I can see.
Vegas
It's a lot of fun. Man. It's a basement with all my stuff in it, pretty much.
Basement with all my stuff in it. It's not my mom's basement. It's my basement. All right, here you go, guys. We need to talk a little bit about what's on the thumbnail.
One career. Sorry.
What's on the thumbnail? All charges dropped.
Knew that was going to happen. Not shocked,
I
not
wasn't
surprised.
too sure because they really had a sound case.
You're talking about
They had bullets mixed in with the dummy rounds. For those people that out there who don't know what a dummy round is, it's a bullet that looks just like a bullet, except it's got a little hole in the
It's what killed
casing.
Brandon.
And you can sit there and shake it because it'll have a little BB in it. It's called a dummy round, so it looks real when they're filming a scene with the gun. They were live rounds mixed in with that. They were using guns for target practice. They were being irresponsible. They did not check the weapon before they handed it over. The armor didn't do her job. He was the producer. There's all of this stuff stacked in their favor, and they go, well, we don't really have enough to. We don't really have enough to do anything.
Sounds like that should have never been filed, to be honest with you. Someone is responsible for her death. but the charges, it wasn't consistent with what they were going to charge them with. That case was a waste of time and money.
No, he should have been charged absolutely with just
He's going to be sued civilly. That's fine,
accidental homicide.
I think such a high bar to prove. They were never going to be able to prove that.
I think he just transformed into the shadow and threatened the judge. That's what I think happened.
Technically,
they looked at their evidence.
Who knows the arts of men? Alec Baldwin's trigger finger.
Yeah, as Shinatsky said earlier, he says, I'm completely behind Alec Baldwin because that's the only safe place.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I told him, I said, when you and I get to hang out, I am going to slap you for that joke.
Yeah, but it's priceless, man. That's awesome.
Let's get into the next thing, which is FUBAR. Arnold Schwarzenegger has his new show. I don't know. Martin, do you have the trailer queued up for that?
No. Or maybe.
Why don't you go ahead? Because this is Arnold's new series. It's going to be on Netflix, right, Keith?
That's what I'm hearing, yeah.
Anybody know anything about this show so far?
Yeah, he'll be having problems with words like cauliflower and California.
It's a show about his badass spy daughter that he's going to prop up and make the hero of the show about.
Okay.
Another strong female.
Yeah, I know. Well, the minute you go to the Google page for it, it's like 90% of the cast is female.
Apparently, he's got a problem with his prostate too. He's like, "Go ahead, put it in, check my prostate."
If you guys want something really funny, you need to look up.
Chief is in the chat.
You need to look up Pablo Francisco Arnold Schwarzenegger and have a good time with that.
Oh, Chief is here! Yay!
It is hilarious.
Patrick Jordan, who is our host of Tuesday's Morning Coffee with the Chief, two-tier justice system. There we go. Big cases require overwhelming evidence. There you go. The bigger the case, the more evidence that's required. He put it. And of course, our host for Tuesdays, Patrick Jordan, is a retired Los Angeles Sheriff's Department chief of police. Good dude, smart dude, knows his shit. But E. Clay Thomas says, "Oh, is this why he came out with a half-hearted apology?" Look, he's never going to apologize. Look, there's something that you have to know about Alec Baldwin, whether you like him as an actor or not. That guy is a sociopath. I've known this for years with what he says and how he talks in public.
Mm-hmm.
This is common with actors to have a form of sociopathy and narcissism. He's your clear-cut case of a narcissist. So just stop looking to him to do anything. Nobody cares. I don't care what he does. I'm just mad that somebody died due to people being bad at their jobs. I really want to see this FUBAR, but I'm so sick of neo-feminism. I like old school feminism, not this neo shit. Like holding on to the trees for dear life feminism.
Okay.
What about Atomic Blonde feminism? That's good feminism.
I hated that movie, dude, because you cannot have a 120-pound woman push kick a guy, and that guy weighs 200 pounds, goes backwards. These are the same guys that worked on John Wick and shit. They know physics. And it just drove me crazy. I also said, it's in the 80s and they desaturated the color. Turned me off.
Well, you read the comic, right? Have you ever read the comic? It was based.
Comic was great.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah!
I love that movie. Man.
I didn't like the movie.
Love the music and everything.
Love the comic.
89.
Gary, do you want the trailer with sound or without sound?
Let's do it with sound. We're gonna get claimed. I'll just remove it later.
Can you turn on the captions so we all understand what Arnold's saying, please?
Right.
Well, you don't know Arnold?
I have 40 years
Can't
of
speak
listening
Arnold?
to the guy.
It's not what he says, it's how he says it. It's important. All right, get it up there, Martin. Everybody's waiting for you, Martin.
Not really.
No pressure, Martin.
It's all on you now. No
Can't
audio.
hear anything.
No audio.
No audio.
But
Quickly fix it. It's not working.
Put your finger here. Push down now.
Get to the checkbox.
Hold on. I have something here for this. Just fix it. Share it and share it again. It's usually what it happens. Something in there. Here we go.
Dylan! You son of a bitch.
Yeah, baby.
When Arnold was still
Sons
good.
of bitches.
I've been plagued by this.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's what made you did.
I lied.
Let him go.
I let him go. Yes.
As I was saying, I've been having this problem for weeks now. I cannot share the audio apparently. So if John, can you please do it?
You need cream?
Yeah, let me grab it.
Do you need
Steven,
cream?
I will laugh when you say something funny.
I'm sorry,
How
I
can
have
Gary
John's
not
joke
love
with-
Atomic Blonde? I just don't like it. I felt that it made a mistake desaturating the colors and having bad physics in the martial arts. I like
the
Kill Bill.
two things I liked about it.
I like my martial arts done realistically and believable. I want to see a woman. I like watching women fight. I just don't like it when they fight in a way that's unbelievable.
Yeah, if there's
I'm the exact opposite. Like Kill Bill to me was like complete BS, but I enjoyed it. So
I like my martial arts with lots of wires and tricks. That's what I like.
I'm sharing it.
I like my martial arts with naked women having sex. Oh, I mean porn. I like porn.
Hey, speaking of naked women, I came into the office today, right? And sitting on my desk, was this.
Where's this going?
Oh, I can't see it. I don't know where it's going, man.
And I don't know where it came from.
Hold on, let me see what this is.
Sorry.
It's a book. And
Oh,
I can't open it because you'll get immediately taken down. But
Yeah, it's a photography book, right? I've seen that.
Yeah, but it's just been. It was just randomly sitting on my desk when I came in.
Look,
it was me.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, I found you before I knew.
Oh, by the
Thank
way,
you, man.
just so you know, my girlfriend Anima is a racist. She is prejudiced against rural people of Austria. She hates Arnold's accent because he has a rural farmer accent.
Oh.
Which is why, by the way, when he offered to dub his own movies into German, they rejected him and said no. They hired somebody else to dub him in the German-speaking countries. No shit, it's really true because his accent is too rural for them. And she's from Vienna. That's high Austria, and they're so much better in Vienna. And they really are. They actually are better people. I like Vienna.
Are we ready for this?
No.
Oh no. Do we have something?
Born ready.
Yeah, I've been sharing it. I've been waiting.
No, I don't see it. Oh, I see it now. There we go. Go for it.
Thanks
I
for
like it.
clarifying
Just
that,
enough.
Anima.
It makes fun of women just enough for me to go, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Thanks for clarifying that, Anima. I thought he named his daughter after Shanatsky. I was confused there for a second.
I got to tell you, that looked funny. I was amused by that. I don't know if it's going to be any good, but it looks
It's on
like
Netflix.
fun.
It doesn't have to. It's on Netflix. It's not going to be a box office bomb because we'll never know those numbers. But it's enough fun to watch on Netflix.
Well, there are sneaky ways, by the way, William, that we've been getting numbers. And Culture Casino and Valiant Renegade are really good at finding out the viewership on those shows. Matt, what was your reaction? You look like you just saw somebody shit in person.
I'm glad they got all their required boxes checked for this show.
Oh, absolutely. Clearly.
So,
because
very,
I was
very,
making
very
fun of it.
important.
Yeah,
because they're all there.
They do this thing now.
All there. It's eligible for
You'll
rewards.
never see
so
a son
it's okay.
ever again. You'll never see a son. It'll always be a daughter.
Got the right mix of everything that they need. So yeah, it looks
because
I like
it's about
that actress
how
too.
it feels.
Yeah,
it's about the feelings,
Yeah.
Matt.
It feels like it.
Matt, what's wrong with you? Why don't you care?
I don't care. That's the problem. I don't care.
Loki, do you care?
I'm interested. I'm a lot more interested than when you showed me the cast.
It looks stupid up front, but I got to tell you I giggled at that damn thing when he's beating that guy like a dad.
Yeah.
Because as a dad, I know when you're getting mad at something, you're really just slamming your hand down, speaking every time you do that. Stop being stupid.
When she's talking about slitting the guy's throat vertically because her dad taught her how to do that, that's gold. That's absolute, yeah. So yeah, I'll give it a chance.
Steven?
It looks interesting, but it reminds me of another film. I just can't put my tongue on it, like scene for scene. It reminds me.
Tongue on it?
Yeah, that's what I want to do, Gary. I want to put my tongue on Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to feel his cauliflower. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that went.
Just go after that one
your
curly-haired chick.
No, not that thing. No.
Keith, your reaction to the trailer?
I kind of liked it. You know, look, it's Schwarzenegger doing comedy. Looks like they've surrounded him with a nice cast of people to be really, really funny while he's there to.
Any reaction to the checkbox casting?
I don't mind it. You know, as long as they're. Look, as long as the show does what it should do, which is be entertaining and most importantly be action-packed and funny. That's really all I expect. If you're going to present something like this, I mean, you know, it's you could almost say the same thing about the Day Shift, Jamie Foxx's film.
Oh, I like that. Yeah. You and I raved about it. John, your thoughts. What was your reaction?
We have some echo.
I think it's Keith. Hold on. Let's try it now. Yep. I'm
Yeah.
muted. Sorry, Keith. I had to mute you. You'll have to unmute yourself if you want to talk. John, your thoughts?
It's going to be a no from me unless I hear differently from somebody else I trust.
Racist.
And sexist. Don't leave that one out.
Is it the black people or the gay people
It's
on the show?
It's the gay black guy.
Is it the gay black guy?
William, your
It's
thoughts,
the
man.
word.
He's blushing. Look,
I'm not the gay black guy, by the way. On the I think it's going to be fun. Like I said, this is the kind of thing that I watch when I just want to see stuff blow up and get torn apart. That's it. I'm not going in here looking for Scorsese or looking for, you know, The Godfather Part 2. This is the kind of movie I'm just going to go in, suspend my disbelief, watch things get blown up and a bunch of people get killed.
At the door. Gotcha.
And that's it. And walk out and, you know, and have my the knot in my brain untied, because sometimes you just need that kind of movie. And this is that kind of movie. So I'm looking forward to it.
I know that Joe likes these kind of movies because it allows him to get felt up by his wife when he goes to the movie. He's the guy that puts his dick in a box of popcorn.
Popcorn?
I am. I'm a dirty old man, dude.
Dirty old long-haired hippie.
That's
what
it,
did you
Bubba.
think of it, Joe?
I thought it looks like True Lies with the the silliness of Commando. If it's that, I'll watch it for sure because I love Commando. That's one of my favorite bad movies ever.
That's what he delivers. One more person, and then we'll come back to you. Martin, what did you think?
I like what I saw. I, of course, cannot predict if it's going to be good or bad, but I'm in. I'm ready to watch it. I like the thing. It checks its boxes, and it's obviously
absolutely does. It does.
Has
question: do you have to watch with subtitles?
No.
No, he watches with a leapfrog.
I'm always such a dick to you, dude.
I thought it was a speaking spell.
All right, Matt, what were you about to say about it?
Oh, shit.
Being in the middle square is tripping me out, number one.
Sorry, Alice.
Yeah, no, or Hollywood Squares, right?
No.
I've decided I'm boycotting. I'm boycotting this show. I'm not watching it.
Let's hear.
Because every time Arnold makes some stupid thing like this, it means he's not making King Conan, and I'm not going to watch any more Arnold stuff until he makes a King Conan movie.
That. I like your statement there.
Make your goddamn Conan movie, and then I'll watch the rest of your stuff. Okay, man, that's all I want.
We have
That's
been
all I want from
waiting
Arnold
for 40 years for that freaking movie.
I know,
and it's we got a shitty Conan the Destroyer movie. Which by far is better than at least the reboot in 2011.
He spent maybe eight episodes of this. He could have spent that entire time. They could have made 4 Conan movies.
I know. Did you ever read my review of that? Because I wrote like a full article review of that film, what made it bad. And I said it was written by guys that are like 14 years old writing about what they think grown men talk like in war. And there's nothing worse than watching Robert E. Howard's Warrior turned into a 16-year-old girl in prom night that won't shut the fuck up, talking all the time. Conan's like just like on a horse talking to the girl, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening here? Well, this is not Conan. And it was a great casting because he looks like the character from the book covers, from Frazetta's artwork. Jason Momoa was physically perfect to play Conan. Got it all wrong.
Dude, I thought that was going to be the start of his career. I was like, okay, you've been in Stargate Atlantis, you were on a couple other things, but then he got the Conan role. I was like, okay, this is going to be epic. And no, exactly like, hey, I'm going to talk to you all the time, and I'm going to be riding on the horse, and I'm going to talk, and I'm going to, yeah. Thank you, writers. You suck.
Well, you see here, the horse was a metaphor for a Starbucks coffee shop, and that's what it's all about, is that technically his sword was his laptop, and they were just expressing their feelings as people jumped up from the sand and screamed obscenities like criticism, logic, and what was the other word they're fearful of? Oh, yeah, sanity.
Hey,
Wow.
William, you look like you were about to say something, buddy.
The hilarious thing about Jason Momoa, what took his career off was his next role right around in that area where he spoke no English, and that was Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. That's what really got him some of his later stuff, because he remembered his career
that saved
after
his career. It did. I agree.
Because after Ronan Deckard wasn't getting worse.
Because he's basically Conan in Game of Thrones. He was Conan.
Yeah, raping, forcefully having sex with his mate. I mean, not kidding, and and that was what really, really
when
got
he did
his,
that. When he did that first season, he was stuck in a band. He lived in a band that whole first season of Game of Thrones. He didn't have the money to have anywhere else to stay, so he lived in his damn band. And look where he is now. That's a huge saving grace.
Exactly, I agree. Matt, what were you gonna say?
I say clearly none of you guys have seen Jason Momoa in his greatest role ever, and that is of Baba Voss in C.
In C.
On Apple TV.
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to watch that show.
Well,
told you to watch it, buddy. Yeah.
Watch it. It's the best thing ever made. It's the best thing ever made. Go watch our reviews on
the writing was really bad from a friend of mine that's a writer. And
really?
So I'm apprehensive of watching things where I hear from one of my trusted writer friends complaining about the writing.
It's not always about the writing. Sometimes it's
because nobody has a bias on the internet, right?
Right. Nobody has that. Now, I'll tell you what, if you want to see some really brutal Braveheart level warfare, watch that show. It is brutal. They are.
All right, I'm going to go give it a try. Matt, I swear to God, our friendship hinges on this.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I'll always love you, man. I love you, dude. Don't you act like you don't care. Fuck you.
We interviewed half the crew for that show on the podcast.
Really?
We're good. Wow. We're good friends with most of those people. Yeah, it's really good. It's a good show.
I'm gonna go give it a watch. I swear to God.
It's ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. It is ridiculous, but it is fun ridiculous. And
it's based on the basic thing that the man with one eye is the king in the land of the blind. Is that not pretty much what it is?
No.
Or are they all blind?
They're all blind.
They're all blind.
Oh, except for
nobody can see. There's
that's not true. That's not true,
there's two people that can. But, well, actually
just watch
three,
the show.
right? Yeah, you'd have to watch.
And do they walk around fucking with everybody, going, throwing their voice like,
no?
That's
the best part about the show is the people that can see are the dumbest characters in the whole.
They
world.
are.
It's hilarious.
It's like they treat them like the retards of the camp. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
It's a ridiculous show that's so awesome. You just have to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm thinking of Peter Griffin right now when he talks about The Godfather. No, sir, I didn't like it. It insists upon itself. I love that line. It insists upon itself. What is it? I'm with you, Gary. Eclay says, hey, Sean Crummel's here. What's up, buddy?
Sean.
And then Script complains about everything now. Oh, I'm not talking about Script Doctor. I was talking about another. I have a lot of writer friends. That are good writers. For me to become friends with a writer, I need to read their writing. I want to know that they know what they're talking about and know how to practice it. So, but I got to tell you, this has been a fun episode. We're down to the last, looks like about 11 minutes, and then we got to end the show. In the last minutes of the show, what do we want to talk about? I think we talk about two things, Keith. One, what you talked about with Disney, and two, we need to talk about Majors and what happened to him.
I think Jonathan Majors is really the important one, because this is, look, I got to tell you, man, there's got to be either he's lying and he's completely effed, or he's getting screwed over. Oh man, this is a mess. This is a mess, is what it is. But this is a mess, in my opinion, of Kevin Feige's making, ultimately, because I just think he's headed the wrong direction. He's way too involved in everything. Everything.
Wait, Keith, are you saying that Kevin Feige is the one who did all the violence and it wasn't Majors? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that,
like that Schwarzenegger series, Jonathan Majors FUBAR.
Hey, Keith, we are echoing really badly through your mic. You have your headset on or what?
Yeah, because my PC, I'm not getting any real signal.
Okay, so what I need you to do is, like, the minute you stop talking, hit the mute.
You got it.
Thank you, buddy. So, well, the next question is, where do you think this is going, guys? I think that what we heard initially was that there was a retraction on her part, that the criminal complaint was...
Oh, did you see those texts, man?
Those didn't help. Those did not
No,
help
they
at
didn't.
all.
They sounded like a battered woman trying to cover the track.
It's a victim apologetic.
What was said?
Did you see the recent pictures of her out at the club after supposedly all this happened? She doesn't have she doesn't have the bruises on her neck. She doesn't have any cuts or scrapes. They've got video of her at the club. They've got video of her going to his apartment, not their apartment, his apartment. She passed out on the floor, threw up in his closet, took a handful of sleeping pills. There is all kinds of crazy stuff they've got on her now that is coming out. That has just
but what
come out
about
the last 24 hours.
What is this other evidence, though?
The other evidence is people just coming out of the woodwork.
There's other women that they have that the DA.
Yeah, I never trust that. Never trust that.
Yeah, and it's all been meanie. He was mean to me at work. How many mean people do you know that you work with? How many people might not treat you with the respect?
Christian Bale's mean to people at work.
Gary's mean to everyone here.
Yeah, the majority of the complaints against Majors has been he's mean.
You guys could Me Too the shit out of me.
No, that requires effort.
But the thing that really struck me was his representation as far as his agency and his PR firm, the people that he pays to friggin' take care of this kind of thing, bailed on him. And that screams either one of two things. Like Keith, somebody else said, look, he either did it and everybody knows it and they've been covering it up and they're tired of it, or somebody is trying to destroy the guy.
It doesn't have to be that way today. All it has to do is be an allegation. All you have to do is have an allegation against you for someone, and that can be that's right. It can be we don't want to touch you because you're toxic right now.
Amber Heard was everybody knew she was,
but she's a woman though. That's different.
She had to fire her people, so I mean,
it's different though.
She's
no
a
offense
woman.
to the woman. That's the woman thing. It's different. There's a different standard. As much as Jonathan Majors, let's say, is dark-skinned, and I'm not trying to be mean here. It's going to sound mean depending on how people perceive it. He's also a man, and that puts him in a subcategory of don't believe all men. And that's all because of Amber Heard and the Johnny Depp trial, because there's still people believing that Amber Heard is innocent. That Me Too movement in general has caused a automatic tagging that if you think you've done domestic violence or any type of violence towards another, you're automatically guilty in the public court of eye, aka Twitter or any type of social media platform. After that, all companies associated with you, whether it be the Army commercials and the other commercials that are starting to pull out, because their public image matters more than the innocence of an individual.
That's right.
No, that's true. It's all marketing.
Well, here's the thing. In all fairness, if you are a firm that is dealing with Jonathan Majors right now, his innocence is not relevant to you. You're running a business,
right?
It's business.
Whether he's guilty or innocent right now is irrelevant to you. you have to step away because you are running a business. You're not saying that he's guilty or you don't believe in him. You're saying, I can't be near you right now because it's not good for our business. And
pretty much what the Army said in their statement, that you have to be prudent with your business. Yeah.
It's like when somebody farts in the elevator. You don't want to be near him because you'll get blamed for it. It's the same shit.
Yeah, well, I've done that many a time. Farted and go, oh, dude, what's up with that?
Well, his issues can't be their problem, is pretty much what it comes down to.
No,
he's too toxic.
It's what we've talked about earlier in the show, is that entertainment is marketing. It's all about marketing something, okay? Whether it's a good idea or a bad idea. And I totally get it. Business is business, and he's a hot potato right now. And so them pulling away, I don't know what that says, to be honest with you. I don't think it's relevant. What I think is relevant is what his attorney says.
They did the same thing with Cass Sandbar in The Expanse. Someone brought The Expanse up earlier. They did the exact same thing with Cass Sandbar.
Yeah,
I brought it up earlier.
Team that
he's a beloved character.
Him.
I thought they should have kept him.
So do I, but the investigation team found no clear evidence that he did anything wrong, but they still suggested to Amazon
remove
that they
him.
drop him because
he's a hot potato.
Absolutely.
Potato. Last thing we want to talk about, Keith brought up earlier the shit going on with Disney with who was it, the lawsuit?
Oh, Alonso. You talk about Victoria Alonso getting a settlement because she took it and ran. So we're guessing around $5 million for it.
Yeah, it just lets you know they act like it's all about what's important to them, but really what it comes down to is dollars and cents.
It also, but if it, let's say it did go to the court system in general, that would open up a whole bunch of things that a lot of people are talking about right now related to the Acolyte to see whether or not it's real and what's going on with the inner workings of Disney and funding. So I think that's also why they were trying to avoid and the plea bargain was taken.
Is that what you were talking about earlier, Keith?
Yeah, that's exactly it. And it's another massive mess for Disney and Marvel Studios especially.
And we still have Karen McCarthy as well, who still has their suit still going with the same law firm.
But Alonso, I think she earned that firing. Because Keith and I have been pissing and moaning about her for a long time, and so these people, they earn their firings, and then they get pissed about it. And but I got to tell you, sometimes it's better to just pay them off and get them to fucking go away, because that is a problem for Disney with their contracts. It's the same thing with Lucasfilm and the Acolyte, because you brought that up too with what's her name. She, on the other hand, has a legitimate beef that she, in her contract, it was agreed upon for a certain amount of work that she was supposed to get paid, and they just go, well, we're not doing it now, so see ya. It's like, no. You still owe me money. And she has every right to fight for that. I agree with it. I don't think the Acolyte's going to be worth a shit.
It won't be.
I think it was... why are you sounding like Peter Griffin when he falls?
I'm sorry. Well, yeah, you probably saw that meme. But no, I agree. It might be garbage. It might be the current Disney trend that's going on right now. But for the trailer I saw that was behind closed doors that they're keeping hush and whatever and striking down, I do want to see the fight scenes. I don't know what it is, but I'm getting Crouching Tiger and Matrix mixed together, and for some reason I like
the look on Matt's face right now. I was watching him as you were saying what you were saying. All right,
I said fight scenes, not the show. I'm taking a song out of the album, Matt. Calm down.
Let's go, Matt. What was that smile for?
I just sent a text out to Kadish about this book of naked people on my desk. And
is that what you're okay?
What's this all about?
Smiling at what Pat Steven was saying.
No, and then he goes, pornography just for you. And it's like, okay. Oh, thanks, man. It's very artsy. artsy porn. So,
well, we are here at the end of the show. Oh wait, you got more to say? Let's go, Matt. Let's go.
I was just gonna say about this Jonathan Majors stuff. I think, are we still talking about that? I lost interest in whatever we were talking about, but
we were talking about Acolyte. Yeah, you talk about whatever.
Yeah. I just think it's too toxic, like you were saying right now. They have a business, and how many movies that they have coming out where Kang is the big bad that they have?
Loki season 2 is the next
2 phases worth.
Yeah, they have to recast. They have to.
Or if they would have already done that though, and I think Disney's waiting because they've already put too much investment into them.
So
I think they've already recast him.
There you go, Matt. Just for you. I created that new banner down there.
Yeah, that's funny.
But
yeah, man, I don't know. I wish I cared more about Marvel movies to have a real.
It's hard to care
opinion on
about
this,
them since
but
2016 or
Yeah.
15. I'm sorry, 15. I stopped caring. Yeah, and I don't want to get into it because we don't have time. But no, I feel what you're saying, buddy.
We have 9
William,
comic book movies this year. 9.
Yep. Last thoughts before we go.
As far as Jonathan Majors,
all of it, whatever you want to talk about.
Okay,
John's
well, Jonathan
racist.
Majors, like I said, no, I think it's too soon, and I think if Marvel thought there was anything immediate to move on, they would have already, because there is a lot coming up. They have to start promoting a lot of things quickly, and I think they're probably ahead of the situation. I'm going to make a guess that the charges get dropped. That's just based on what I can see now, that the charges get dropped. And I think Marvel's investigators, they're a billion-dollar company. They're going to have more resources to dive into this. The fact that they haven't moved and made an announcement yet tells me a little bit more than anything else. As far as everything else goes, that's probably the most important thing right now for me as far as that goes. And Picard, we've already touched on Star Trek. Like I said, I'll be going into it in depth tonight. And that's about it. Thanks for having me on.
No, it's very good. Do you think you'll be able to join us each week?
Yes, and I'll have
That'd be
it set
great.
up a little bit differently to where I'll have somebody running interference for me, so that they can deal with customers while I'm on air instead of having. And plus, if Cox doesn't screw me again, that's another thing.
Yeah, look, man, they get this monopoly, these cable companies, so I get it. I don't think the quality is there. But once again, new segment for whenever Matt's on. We're going to call it "Taking It to the Mat" with Matt Vader. We got fisting action.
Wow, that's going to get clipped.
What page are you on in that book right now, Vader?
What page are you on?
I haven't really even looked at it.
I don't know. You're turning pretty red right now. I don't know about that answer.
I need to create one for Loki too.
An adult book?
No, yeah.
Oh,
He
wow.
needs an adult book. He is sadly lacking porn where he's at.
What?
I'm going to go ahead and show this video real quick. And by the way, Loki, do you think you'll be able to make it every week? Because I love having you on, man.
Should. 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. I can do that.
All right.
Loki's awesome.
All right, this video, whether you agree with it or not, is hilarious. And I saw it this morning. I had to share it.
Team DeSantis presents
Real Man of Women's Sports.
Today we recognize the men who've hacked the system.
Hack the system.
Once mediocre in the men's division, now cream of the crop in the women's.
From mediocre to champion.
You couldn't cut it with the boys, so you pushed women off the podium.
Real man still first place.
Because without you, sports would be fair. Without you, women's sports would be for, well, women.
That is awesome.
And it plays right off of the joke that I've always made. Proof again that men are better at everything than women, including being women.
Wow.
We hear.
Wow.
Yeah,
intense.
And there goes the radio
I
show.
never thought South Park would be.
And that
real
is
life.
why I use some up.
I know South Park has been very prophetic over the years.
Oh
dude.
yeah, snap into it.
Oh yeah, Sapper Slim Jim. That's fucking awesome, dude. Good reference. Loki, Steven, Keith, Matt, Das Wolfen. Would you like to touch my monkey, Das Wolfen? Oh. And then, of course, Joe from Joe's Atmosphere.
So,
Martina Costa Santana, the manager of this show. And, of course, William, who has joined us as a member of our team. It's great to see all you guys. Loki, thank you so much, man. You guys are awesome. I want to thank everybody in the chat and audience. I want to thank our audience at KGRA, the thousands of you listening to this radio broadcast. Wow. Thank you. I hope we keep those numbers. And we've already had a lot of reactions. Poor Bill, our producer, is like said, "Yeah, can you tone down the F word?" Some of the audience has written in. I'm like, I'll try. I'm former military. William will tell you, man.
Martin,
that stuff becomes part of your lexicon. You just don't even think
Part
about
of the
it.
vernacular.
Yeah, it's like breathing. You just do it.
Martin's gonna have a new job. He's gonna be hovering over a button that just censor beeps Gary every time.
I
his
would
mouth
love
opens.
to have a delay on this show to where Martin could just sit there and just beat me every time I say something. That sounds like you know what it sounds like. It sounds like you have someone tied up in your closet. That's so far away sounding. It's like... Hey Keith, for stopping in today. I appreciate it, man. I know that things are crazy in your life, but anytime you're able to make it to the show, it's always awesome, and I appreciate it, man.
It's a real honor to come and hang out with you guys. And again, look, let me just say, I've enjoyed all you guys, and William, man, I can't think of a better person to come on in and join this madness.
Thank you.
It is madness.
Happy to be here.
It is madness. Again, we've gone over now by a few seconds, so we got to get out of here. See you guys tomorrow for Saturday morning fun time.
Those sons of bitches. Ma, I'm doing a show.